you?
Doing great, doing great. So, you're about ready to get on the road again. How does that feel?
It's a strange feeling. I hadn't felt in quite some time. It actually feels great.
When was when was the last time you were out on the road?
On the road would have been I guess the end of 2019. We did a couple of shows at the beginning of 2020, but very limited. And then we played a few weeks ago. It's been a couple of months. I can't even remember. We did a couple of shows three shows in Atlanta at the Roxy.
Cool.
And that was the first time just getting back in the on stage. And I was telling Ed and I were talking like right before this, saying, I'm like, what is this funny feeling I'm feeling? I am nervous. I hadn't been nervous in 15 years.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, it was more excitement or whatever, but it was great, man. I'm really looking forward to getting back out there.
Yeah, there's something about, like, if you're out of that routine for a while, and it's probably human psychology, it's like, I've been doing this for probably more than half my life. But now, it's like you're starting all over again in a certain way, too.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I'm sure it's like the old cliches, like riding a bike or whatever. You get back on like, oh, okay, I got it. But the good thing is, like, we've been, the end of last year, we got together and we've been working on some new music, so we went and recorded a new album. We've gotten together and we're creative and we were playing and maintaining the chemistry in the band is important. So it isn't like we haven't seen each other or played together in a year. So that helps the camaraderie and the chemistry keep it flowing.
How did you guys do it through this pandemic and say, look, we got to get out of bed, we got to keep playing, we got to create new stuff? Where do you think you guys got the energy to do that?
I don't know. I mean, it's what we do anyway. Like for me, and I think all the other guys as well. It's like it's just what we do. Like when they'll ask you, you have a hobby? What do you do when you're not playing music? I mean, not a whole lot. I mean, I just do normal stuff. I watch movies or read a book or whatever. But it's like I play my guitar. That's what I love to do. Write music. So that never really stops. Just kind of keeps going. In the pandemic, you just were given a lot more time to do it.
So Half and Half is the new release created during the pandemic. Some covers on there and some originals. How's the songwriting process with you? How involved are you in it with the band?
It depends. I mean, a lot of times Ed comes in with a complete idea of what he wants with it, and like the arrangement kind of done. And there's other times where we can work off of a drum groove or just a simple riff that somebody has, and then we just start to build it. So there's really not any one way. It's just you just start reaching and trying to grab an idea that you feel good about or something that inspires you, or Ed's got some words that he wants to, write about, talk about, something you got to express. So I wish there was a one simple answer to that, but it really isn't. It just kind of happens. So, and as far as the half and half thing, we've been playing REM's The One I Love on the road for the past couple of years, and loved him. They're one of our heroes growing up, and same with Neil Young. And we did his song Opera Star, and Ed had been looking for the vinyl of that record for years, and I think we were in Spokane, Washington. We went to this record shop, and he was there. We had a vinyl in the back of the bus, a record player, and we played it, and that song just kind of stuck out. We're like, dude, let's jam this thing. And it was just more fun for us, really. We just got in the studio and cranked out both of them and in a day and just enjoyed having fun with them.
Yeah, One I Love is an REM cover, and it's just the way that your arrangement is really nice and bass heavy. How did that come about as far as like getting that arranged and doing it your Collective Soul way?
Yeah, cool. Because when we were playing it live, we did it more like the REM version, like the guitar bowl, da 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 da, and so not as like slowed down on the bass heavy. And we were in the studio and we were going to do it that way, and then I think it was Will that was like just playing along with it and just kind of went into like a slower vibey thing, and we were like, oh, that's cool. This just, and that's kind of how it works. It's like almost like happy accidents. It wasn't even an accident, but just like kind of hanging out, vibing it, and then it turned into that. It's kind of feeling the moment out.
Nice. And the Opera Star, how did that come about? What made you want to cover that, the Neil Young cover?
Oh yeah, so when Ed's been wanting that record on vinyl for years, and it's really rare. It's hard to find. And that's why I was just saying we were in Spokane, Washington. I think it was Spokane, Washington, and we were in this record shop, and he found it, and we keep a vinyl player in the back of the bus, and we were just back there listening to it, and it just, the song has so much energy. I love it so much. The lyrics are so great, and we had just been jamming it, and then we decided we wanted to do this half and half, like for record day, like two of our songs and two covers. The songs it just like, yeah, let's do that thing and just see what happens and just have fun with it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, definitely. And then hearing some of your originals on that too is really nice. How did that come about? Did Ed come up with lyrics on his own? Was that a collaboration?
Yeah. He wrote the lyrics. And then we just on those. One of them he had, like I said, sometimes he comes in with it all. It's all done, and then the second one. It was more of a band thing. We just kind of like worked through that, arranged it, changed up some chord progressions here and there, and so that was more of a band effort. The other one was Ed had written the whole thing.
Yeah, what a great thing. Now, where did you record during all of this? Are you down there in Stockbridge is outside of Atlanta, south of Atlanta. Have you been recording in town, or did you do this in pieces, parts, and have it all come together?
No, we did it. We recorded this in our friend's studio in Atlanta called Madison Studio. And yeah, we did it all. There's a great little studio there. Sure.
Yeah.
So I live in California, so I'm making the trek back on those ventures, back and forth.
Yeah, and coming back on the tour, you were opening up right here near Atlanta in Alpharetta, so it must feel really good to come back home, and I'm sure having the hometown crowd must feel really good when you first get back out there.
Oh, it feels great. I love it. Yeah. Like it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. You come home and you get pulled in so many different directions, and you got so little time. But I love playing the shows at home.
As far as like getting ready for the tour, how does the rehearsal process work?
We just get together a few days before. We work through the set list, what songs we want to play, what haven't we played in a while. So just get the set list ready, and then see what songs we need to really work on. Some of them that we hadn't played in a while, we really have to kind of jog our memory and focus. And then there's certain ones like Shine or World I Know, like they probably won't be rehearsed. Those are gonna take their own life whenever they go.
You got to have the staples in there. People,
Absolutely.
It's like you don't want to let anybody down. So when putting together the set list, is it like a vote by the band? Does just one person, like Ed, decide what the set list is? Is it more like a democratic process?
It's pretty democratic. Yeah. I mean, a lot of time. I mean, mostly, but we're not doing the songs if Ed doesn't want to sing, or if he wants to sing, something in particular for whatever reason, kind of thing. But yeah, we're all trying to figure out, what works and what doesn't work. And we adjust it too. Like like the first part of the tour, if the song's not working in the set for whatever reason, we just make adjustments. Yeah, it's pretty democratic. But I mean, he it's like any singer. They're gonna make sure they know the ones they want and definitely don't want to play.
Yeah, it's like performers could say, "Oh, I could feel it from the stage." If we go into too much of a deep cut part of the show here, it's like that's why we cut it. It's just like we could just feel that vibe. It's like you want to do just all the hits, but you got to have that right balance. And
You try to find like our goal is like to get a flow of like the set's got to flow into something. Like we like how it ended. Like the past couple of shows we did in Atlanta a couple months ago, like that felt good how it ended. So we'll continue to work on that maybe. But yeah, you're trying to find this flow to where you don't lose people, and we're having fun too, and it's intimate at times, and sometimes just you got the songs that are just up tempo and doing their thing.
and how's the new stuff working out lately? Now you did an album, Blood, before all of this. How much do you mix into the set with the newer stuff?
Yeah, so we'll definitely do several of those songs, but we also run into the problem of because of we were planning on releasing a record last year that we had already recorded, and that didn't happen because of the pandemic. So then we went and recorded another record. So we have two records that are unreleased that we're super excited about.
Yeah.
That hopefully we get those. We'll play some of those too, like the new ones that people hadn't even heard. So you just have to find the balance. That really is it. And so I'm not. We'll make it work. There's enough songs in there to figure it out.
Yeah, it's really great that you're still creating, because there's so many of these acts that, like, basically they become nostalgia, which isn't bad. I mean, everybody wants to have their memories jogged and feel good. But it's really amazing that you are all continuing to create new, original material. And
yeah, well, with us, you'll get some of the nostalgia stuff for sure. Like we're going to play the songs that people know, but there's also a part of self-fulfillment that we need to do too. Of like you're saying, like still creating. We're still we got more in the tank. We want to get out there. So it's just like I said, it's just finding that balance.
Yeah, yeah. So now what's the backstory here? Now, I've always heard about you guys. Listened to you guys a lot on what was called 99X back in the day here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You're very familiar with it. They broke you here in this market. Grew up in. Now, did you all grow up in Stockbridge? How did that all come about?
Yeah. So we all grew up with Will's dad, our bass player. His father owned a studio in our small town in Stockbridge, and Ed, my brother, worked at the studio. So that's how he learned the engineering craft, the studio, his way around the studio through Will's father's studio. And the rest of the guys, we all went to high school together, and then it kind of just fell into it. And then we had to part ways for different reasons with the previous drummer and guitar player, and then Jesse and Johnny have been with us for about the past 10 years now. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, who were your early influences here back in the Stockbridge days?
You mean like who musical influences?
Yeah, who
growing
did you
up?
listen to growing up over there?
Yeah, I mean, I was an early '80s kid, so I was all into like NXS, U2, The Police, REM, The Cure. Those were kind of my things growing up. Like I loved like A Flock of Seagulls and that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, and as I got older, it just my taste developed, expanded. I would say, I guess, right, and started playing more music, and I learned I learned of the Beatles, and and learned how to appreciate that, and help learn how to write songs through listening to music like that. So, yeah, but that really was it. Like early '80s, like, kind of new wavy type stuff. Psychedelic Furs was a big one for me.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating because you ended up basically breaking in the grunge era after in the wake of Pearl Jam, Nirvana, and you were part of that whole 99X lineup. And did you ever see that music? I mean, you couldn't have predicted it going that way. It's just the big hair bands were kind of dying out in the early 90s, and then you guys became part of that whole...
They didn't die out. Kurt killed them, I think is what happened.
Yeah, basically, right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we didn't really musically kind of fit into that stuff. I mean, Shine had like a tuned down guitar riff, like riff or whatever, but like for the most part, like that wasn't what we did. We were just we were guitar riff driven with a melodic top. Um, and I don't know. We just kind of did what we did. I never felt like we fit into the grunge stuff at all, but we got lumped in there, and then it would be like grunge light or something. They would, their critics or labels or whatever are always trying to come up with some sort of genre or marketing thing to fit you into. But I don't know. We just kind of, and still do. We just do what we feel good about and try to be authentic with our music.
This is awesome. It's really cool. And, I listened to both the album Blood and the EP Half and Half. I really like that song Back Again with the drums. That's really got like a major energy to it. I think that would be just excellent in a set.
Yeah, that would be fun to play. That's the one that we kind of did as a band together. So, I like it too. I love that vibe.
Yeah, it has a good haunting rhythm to it. Mm-hmm. Really, really enjoyed that. Do you have any like pre-show rituals when you're about ready to take the stage? Is there something that you do backstage that like psychs you up and gets you ready for the crowd?
It sounds a little cheesy, but I mean, if we try to get together and get a few laughs in, like somebody's gonna be silly and get a joke just to like loosen the vibe, like the tension. If there is any, if there's anything going on in our day, it's just like somebody just do some stupid shit and we get a laugh out and just kind of it just loosens the vibe. It really is just hanging. Like we kind of clear the room and it's just the five of us in there and get a laugh or two, maybe have a drink, just get the blood flowing and get excited and walk on stage and do it.
Excellent. So this tour, how many dates do you have set so far? Now we're in early June as we record this, hitting Alpharetta in mid-June.
I'm not going to lie to you, buddy. Our schedule has changed so much through the pandemic, and it's like, I'll look at our calendar, and it's like, these shows, instead of canceling these shows, we've continued to try to reschedule them, not knowing when any of this stuff was going to be lifted and people could get back in venues and different areas and states for doing different things. So I don't really know. I'm still kind of waiting to see what we're doing. But I'm just thankful that it feels like things are getting back to normal and we're going to be busy. So that's what I'm hoping for. But I'm honestly not sure how many dates it's looking like right now.
Yeah, that's hard to predict. It's like, I'll leave that up to the tour managing people and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't deal with the tickets. I don't deal with what's going on in the venue. I just show up.
It's funny. I remember last year when all this stuff started breaking out and it was going crazy. And they did the first wave of shutdowns or whatever. And I was talking to our manager, and he's like, "We'll should know in a couple of weeks. It looks like we might be able to get this thing going again, but we're just going to have to see." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." And in my head, I'm like, "I don't know if that's going to happen, or not. I don't think so, but I'm going to hope." And then it just went on and on and on.
Sweet.
Oh my gosh! And for everybody.
That's really, really cool. Cool. So, and you're with Styx this summer. What's that like doing that double billing? How does that feel? Do you see much of the other band, or is it like, are you guys pretty much all separate and you just deal with your thing and they deal with theirs?
Well, I think it depends on when we do this type of stuff. It depends on the band. We know those guys in Styx. We've known them for a long while. We've played shows. They're great dudes. So with them, it'd be a little more camaraderie, like they're buddies. And then there's some bands that might, just kind of stay to themselves. So whatever it may be, I don't, But with those guys, it'll be hang out a little bit.
That's really cool. Do you guys join each other's sets, or is it just totally separate?
Yeah, we've actually talked about it. We want to figure something out to where maybe Ed hops on stage with them, or Tommy comes out and jams with us on something. Like Ed sang on one of Tommy's records in the past, his solo records, and Tommy sang on he did backups on one of the songs off of Blood. So we've always, even besides that, we've just been big admirers and fans of them, but now we've been friends with them for quite a while.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for your time. This has been fantastic. Collective Soul going out on the road with Styx summer 2021 and well beyond, I'm sure. And a lot more material to come out from Collective Soul. That's really cool, too.
Yeah.
So look forward to all that. Do you plan on any more solo records? You've done a solo here or there.
Yeah, I have. Well, it's not. I have a writing partner. I have a studio in LA a production partner, and we get together. It's called Magnets and Ghosts, and we put out 3 records, and we got the material for the next one. We just have to get together and record it. So I plan on doing that at some point in the near future, in and out of touring. So hopefully by the end of the year we'll have it. Well, I live in San Diego now, but cool. I lived in LA for like 5 years, and then I've been in San Diego for 3 or 4 years now. Yeah.
Love.
But I live. I mean, I'm back and forth in LA because my studio's there, so it's a quick little jaunt up there. Yeah.
San Diego, I love. That's where I met AJ Croce and had been following him, and he was on my podcast as well.
Okay.
They had a bar called Croce's in the Gas Lamp District, which was really nice. His mom ran. Very cool.
Very cool.
Up there. Yeah.
It's so nice. I really do. When I first moved here, my head was like, "Oh God, this place is like so chill and it's so amazing." But I feel like I'm either on vacation or I've retired, and I haven't done either one of them. It just made me restless. So it took me a second to like adjust to because even living in LA, I lived in Venice when I was in LA. It's just there's a more intense thing happening there. And down here, especially as a musician, down here it's just a little more, it's settled in. It's kind of a little bit off the beaten path, but I love it here.
It is. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Well, you got some really cool dates on this tour. I love St. Augustine. That's a beautiful place. Yeah. And then looks like you're all going out to Vegas. That's looks like a lot of fun, too.
That'll be fun. Might be too much fun.
Always be careful in Vegas. Well,
exactly.
Thank you so much for your time. This has been lovely.
Cool. Well, thanks, Robert. I appreciate it, buddy.
Take care. Have a good one.
All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye.